It's Rick without the K. James presents In My Opinion Podcast.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Should a comic have to pay dues? I say yes. Yes, the comic has to pay dues. Meaning they have to know what it's like to get up and go to an open fucking mic, stand in a long-ass line, pay sometimes to be on that open mic. They've got to hit enough open mics. They've got to do, you know, like a tattoo apprentice. You know what I mean? Have you ever been to a tattoo shop? Sometimes they have an apprentice, and that apprentice goes around doing fucking nothing for like 2 years, just waiting to tattoo somebody, right? We do that in the comedy world as well. And I wanted to tell viewers, because viewers just see, you know, a Chris Rock, a Kevin Hart, and they don't believe that people are out here really working for no fucking money. There's been several times I've been at comedy clubs, and people think I'm really getting paid, and I'm getting paid enough to pay my bills on. But most of these comedy clubs, I won't say any names, but I will tell you the fees. Most of these comedy clubs pay their host $25 to $50 a show. And most comedy clubs pay their feature anywhere from $75 to $125 to feature each show. The headliner, it depends upon the headliner, their TV credits, this or that. So I wanted to put that out there because, again, I could do a 5-show fucking gig over the weekend somewhere, 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, and I walk out of there with $250. But mind you, that's over 3 days, and I got to commute to and from the place. I've got to pay for my own drinks and food sometimes. So did I really make some fucking money?
Probably
You know
not.
what I mean? So that's when I'm talking about paying dues type shit. And I say that, and I'm passionate, and that's why I say people have to pay their dues. And I'm only saying that because I've paid my motherfucking dues, goddammit. Like,
Right.
So I feel like if I have to pay the dues, why do you not get to, goddammit? So go ahead, Jose.
God damn, I was emotionally charged.
Right? Yeah, he's feeling that.
I don't like the term paying dues because it insinuates that it's getting paid to someone. I
Right.
think
There's actual money.
the reality is you have to put the work in. You cannot avoid the work. There is no shortcut around it. Even when you think you found a shortcut, you get humbled and reminded. A lot of Instagram people who, when they first got on a stage in front of a packed crowd, oh shit,
Right.
I actually have to be stand-up funny. But I think, yeah, you cannot avoid. Everybody has to put in the work. But there's also ways to adjust to the game, and you can't knock nobody for adjusting. So, like, for all of us, damn near all of us in the Bay Area that are still in the Bay Area, our social media handles, for the most part, we don't utilize them as best as we can, and we haven't figured out a way to breach to the next level. However, we can't be mad at a motherfucker who has figured that out, because what they've learned how to be is efficient. So if we know that the one thing you have to accept, and this is a part of the paying dues / doing the work, yes, initially you're gonna get the $50 hosting gig, the $100 headline, the $75, and then you got to spend money to get there and whatnot. But you got to adjust to the game too. Learn, okay, if you know that drinking is a vice of yours, bring some shit with you. You know what I'm saying? Bring a lunch, eat elsewhere, like real shit, stuff like this. Because ultimately, I think, yeah, you should not expect initially that it's gonna be raining money on you. It's not gonna happen. And if you come in with that initial mindset, you've already set yourself back because you're trying to avoid doing the work to an extent. You're trying to get to the mountaintop without even knowing what the fuck the soil feels like. So yeah, you got to pay the dues, but then also too, sometimes this gets manipulated into, like, you know, it becomes like a locally, at least with the crabs in the barrel mentality that I mentioned. It's a lot of gatekeeping on bitch ass shows. Like it ain't a show that you're not about to get paid $1 million from.
Now who's passionate?
No, this is the reality.
Yeah.
Because people will think, well, you haven't paid your dues because you haven't hung around here long enough, or you haven't so on and so forth long enough. And it's like, but then when you look at who gets put on stage, who apparently paid your dues, who paid their dues, you quickly can see y'all are pissing on people and telling them that it's raining. So this paid dues concept is bullshit. It's also subjective. You choose who you want to say that, no, they haven't paid their dues yet. That the work will speak for itself. The dues is a made up
Who
concept.
says it like that, though? Pay their dues.
People that really want their dues paid.
That's how they come. That's how it comes off. Like people don't realize that that's how it comes. They paid the dues.
I just envisioned the person saying it that might have been saying.
I tried it. That was my best San Francisco accent.
All right, so I think when it comes to paying dues, man, I think comics and artists in general should just fucking abandon that idea. It's a fucking terrible idea to carry. It's fundamentally wrong if you ask me to even ask an artist to pay any type of dues. And also, I don't think stand-up comedy is an arena where paying dues should really be anticipated in, because the reality of paying dues is like you're trying to put a structure on an art form. You can't do that shit. You shouldn't do that shit. That's a terrible idea. I didn't get into stand-up comedy because I wanted a fucking regiment and authority. I got into stand-up comedy so I could do and say reckless shit. I want it to be the Wild West. Yep. I want anything to be fucking possible. I want somebody to go on stage for the first time ever in their life.
Pull their dick out.
And then get a fucking HBO special.
What's wrong with you?
Right, yeah.
Not him, but you. That's where your mind is?
I mean, yeah, right. He's like, that's going to be my next opening bit at the fucking...
Yeah. Nobody that I've
seen. You should have seen his open mic the other night, man. That shit was crazy. Fucking cracked his cheeks open. So this notion of paying dues is a self-detriment. I don't want rules. I don't want an authority figure. I don't want somebody who claims to be the person that can tell me how to, that can give me the only way to get there. I don't want that shit. I want art to be the fucking wild, wild west where anything can happen, where you could fucking blow up tomorrow or die right now. I want it to stay that way. All comics and all artists should abandon and reject this notion that you're supposed to pay dues. This is art. You got into art. There's no boundaries here. There's no. This is what you. If you come in with the business, if you're looking for regiments and structures, go get a fucking desk job.
Okay.
You got into art
that,
because you want recklessness.
You say that, Rudy, but you've paid dues. So why do you pay the dues then?
No, I don't. The only dues I've ever paid is to myself through what I feel like I'm accomplishing as an artist. Am I getting better? Am I getting more authentic? Is my art coming through stronger? That's the only dues I have to pay. I don't fucking owe work. I don't owe no comedy clubs, nothing. I don't owe my if I have good relationships with people in the comedy world, it's because I've been a fucking good person to them. I'm not trying to do anything else. I don't want to pay no fucking dues. If I like you, if we're friends, it's because I like you, and most likely you like me. And if those people happen to be people that are deeply entrenched in the comedy world or in this artistic community, I mean, then fucking so be it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still gonna treat them well if they treat me well, like they're human beings. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it to kiss up or to pay any dues, or I want to have good relationships in general. But I digress though. The notion of paying dues, I don't look at it that way in terms of the time that I spent doing comedy. I've done the work so that I can be a better comic. That's all I give a fuck about. I'm probably never gonna be rich. I'm not doing this to seek out notoriety or fame or fortune. I am this deep into comedy now, and I remain this deep into comedy now, and I'm gonna continue in it because I realized that all the time that I put into it, if I had made my goal to be fame and fortune and notoriety and to be able to look at myself on some sort of weird list as where I rank because I paid my dues, then that would be a waste of time. Because if I want that type of structure, I could go do it somewhere else. I don't want structure. I want the opposite. I want deconstruction. That's why I came to comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like so shit could be reckless, so shit could be wild.
Feel me? We want an open relationship with comedy.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, real talk. Real talk, you know? So all artists should abandon that because art should be fucking wild.
No, and I agree with you on the way, and that's why, like I said, we've had this discussion a couple times. And the only reason I feel like that is because, like I said, I've had to pay those dues. But
stop looking at them like dues, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you continue to look at them like dues, this is what's going to happen, okay? First of all, there is no handbook on what the dues are. So that right there should be an indication as to why we should stop thinking about dues. Because since there is no regulated set of dues, all that's going to happen is that everybody's going to run around creating their own dues. And now your dues don't match his dues don't match my dues, and we're never going to be. You can never be on the same page with somebody.
When I say dues,
you're a dude.
We're all dudes, you know.
You guys are idiots.
You should evaporate them from your mind because they're a nuisance. They're a nuisance in what you're doing.
When I say dudes, let me use an example, right? I'm talking about like most comedy clubs. When you're like, hey, man, can I feature over here? What do they tell you?
Right.
Where else have you featured?
Right.
Where, again, it's that part of the dude where you're like, dude, isn't it more about just, can I be funny for 20, 25 minutes? Not about, where am I featuring?
Right.
Why do I got to give you a list of comedy clubs? Why don't you put me up, see if I'm funny enough for you and what you think I am? Because, again, it's one of those things that I understand that comedy is subjective.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I tell people I wouldn't pay to go see Jerry Seinfeld. Do I think he's funny? Yeah. But I wouldn't pay for a ticket where I have paid to go see Dave Chappelle.
Right.
And he wasn't as funny as I thought he was going to be that night because he was working on new shit. You know what I mean? So, but those are the differences where I look at shit like that where I'm just like, you know how irritated I get where I'm like, why do I got to give you a list if I've already sent you a little clip or something and you was like, hey, that was cool. Put me where you think I am. And if you don't think that I can feature and I've got 25 minutes of funny, then don't rebook me again.
Right.
But I see the exact opposite happen is I see people that can't be funny for fucking 10 minutes but get 25,
right.
But because they've paid their dues or they've performed over here or performed over there.
But at that point though, Rick, those aren't dues, man. They just have a relationship with the business.
Who you know.
You know what I'm saying? Like you do. I feel like I understand what you're saying because we all see
that
it
as an example.
No, that's why I wanted to reiterate. I want to reiterate. I understand what you're saying, but unfortunately, it's like I still think that it's a good idea to abandon the notion of dues because it's hard to distinguish. For oneself, it's hard to distinguish when you're being subjective and when you're not. At some point, your notion of dues they seep into the business side. And then that's where we all fuck up because we're supposed to keep that shit separate if we can. You know what I mean? Because then you're gonna start thinking that the art is corrupted. The art is not corrupted. The business side is corrupted.
Oh, definitely.
But you're letting it seep into your artistic and creative mind. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why people question the art that they create. Because they're like, why the fuck am I even doing this if it's not even fucking getting the recognition that it deserves? Fuck everybody's recognition. If you really love comedy, you do it because you love comedy, and you guys are right. The funny will show. If people who run a business don't acknowledge it, fuck them. Fuck them.
There's other businesses.
You can make money without them.
Yeah.
If that's really your fucking concern, you know, and I'm not talking to you directly. I'm not like attacking you, but most people talk.
I feel like you are.
I mean, well, maybe because it resonates. You know what I'm saying? It's like fuck them.
I'm sorry you're not funny enough.
You could no. I'm sorry you don't believe in yourself enough. That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to say we don't need these establishments. We can create our own money through our art if we want to. We don't have to fucking go beg for somebody to pat our heads.
But I think that's why I'm arguing this point, though, is because I'm arguing your point as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is I do believe I'm funnier than most motherfuckers. I do believe I'm funnier than most of those clubs. So it irritates me when I go to this shit. I'm like, why do I have to pay dues if I know that I should be in that spot anyways?
Right.
Shit. So that's what annoys me is I'm like, because again, I try to go to a club open-minded in the beginning, and I know there's what's on the next on the list, right? So
something
is
do related.
I know for me, I kind of go to a club or wherever now, and I'll give you a free sample. But if you don't like my free sample, then I'm gonna move on.
Right.
Because I gave it to you for free. I had your people laughing. They were buying drinks during my shit. Like, I did my service. So now it's time for you to re-up with me and come pay for some shit.
But, dude,
so I do that shit now with the effect where, because again, I can't keep continually go to these places and spending my time and energy hoping for your fucking acceptance. And I don't mean you. I mean whoever fucking club, right? So that's my thing is and we'll get to that if that's one of the next questions.
Well, it's on this tangent of what upsets you about booking behaviors of other comics. But piggybacking off what you're talking about with the clubs, I think the hardest realization, because we're so passionate as artists, we have an emotional tie, a spiritual tie to this shit. Sounds funny, but it kind of it is what it is. We're expecting the natural order of things to be, I'm a funny motherfucker. You've acknowledged I'm a funny motherfucker. Give me my stage time, please. And they're looking at it like, no, because in essence, a lot of comedy club owners,
Want
for lack of a better expression, don't give a fuck about comedy. The reason why that people get booked is because the leverage that they have. The leverage being the audience. So, case in point, back to the Instagram people. People get mad that Instagram people are going to get an opportunity before somebody who's been in the game for 18 years, the same way they're going to get mad that T.I. is going to get an opportunity, the same more than somebody who's been in the game for years. What they fail to acknowledge is they have the leverage. The Instagram person has 1 million followers. If you got 1 million followers and your insights show that in my section where my comedy club is, you do pretty well, I'm expecting, you know what, fuck it. For starters, on a Wednesday night, you should be able to give me 150 people. Let's see how it goes. For T.I., you're fucking T.I.
Who's this T.I. you speak of?
But I'm saying the leverage that he has is I'm world famous, renowned T.I. I have an audience that loves what I do on a microphone. Now I'm also going to, this same audience is going to be curious. Some of them are going to be rooting for me. Some of them are going to be hoping me to fail. Regardless, they're going to be curious enough to come see me at your fucking club. So the whole point of what I'm saying is, unfortunately, I agree. I do feel like, bruh, you know I'm funnier than this bullshit that you're putting on there, especially in places like in San Francisco, where I think we can all agree that you're not. It's built on relationships, but it's built on relationships out there. The only reason, like I said, we're not the game. If we're playing the long game, where we're at right now, we're not necessarily. If you're trying to play a long game, you the short goal of getting as much money as you can get is going to be out the window sometimes. You're looking for the opportunity to be in front of a good crowd because, in essence, this helps you get the work in of practicing. You don't get real reps until it's live, like it's football practice. Doing shit on air, which is an open mic, only get you but so far. You got to get used to having the words come out of your mouth, having them flow, see how they sound. But you really don't fucking know if you can fight until you get into a fight, which would the metaphor here being in front of a paying audience who came to see comedy. It's a lot different. That set is a lot different than your Tuesday night open mic at a bar with people who don't give a fuck.
But that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I mean, like. The business side, when it comes to comedy shit, bro, like it just clutters your mind. Like motherfuckers just need to focus on being funny if that's really what you want to do, and all the good shit will come. I think, you know, getting so caught up in getting in front of a professional club's audience, dog. If you got a packed bar and a packed punchline, if you're funny, like it's gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? Like people are gonna tell that you're funny. If you bomb in the bar, you're gonna bomb in the club. If you kill in the bar, you're gonna kill in the club. Like that's the mentality to have, because all that other shit just clutters your whole purpose, and your whole purpose is to try to become a better comic. I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm assuming that's why we're doing this. You know. That's why I have to like continue to suggest that to everybody, like just abandon this notion of dudes, because it just fucking clutters your mind. It weighs you down. You know what I'm saying? You could be working on your shit instead of thinking about like, how can I get in front of people who don't give a fuck about you, who don't, you know, they're only looking at you as a number, perhaps. Mm-hmm. You know, like, oh, this person can give me such and such people here. It's like, why would you work so hard just to bow down to that? Like that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, let them come to you when they see that you're fucking, that you're like killing it, that you're a worthy comic, you know?
Boy, Charlie Murphy, my main man, Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.